Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to VolunteerFest 2020, the virtual version. My name is Brad Creighton, and I am responsible for community engagement and events at Volunteer Fox Cities. And we are so grateful that you are taking the time to be here and to listen. Whether you're on live or watching the recorded version, thank you. I do hope that during this session with Fox Valley Lutheran Homes, you hear and learn about who they are, what they do, and you truly hear something that moves in you that says, you know what, I want to be a part of that. And then you can connect in with them. A couple just quick things before we begin of note. All these sessions are being recorded, so just be aware of that. If you are watching live here and you have a question, feel free to type that into the chat and we will make sure that it gets answered for you. And make sure you check out the website at volunteerfoxcities.org/holiday. Oh, wow. You think I would know this by now. volunteerfoxcities.org/volunteerfest to see the remaining schedule for this evening, as well as visit our one-stop shop where you will see this information that you're hearing in this session, as well as from the rest of the sessions. Now, I know you are not watching this to hear me do all the talking. So with that, I am very excited and pleased to introduce Lynn Ann from Fox Valley Lutheran Homes. Lynn Ann, welcome very much. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your role at Fox Valley Lutheran Homes?
Absolutely. I have been with Fox Valley Lutheran Homes for just about a year and a half. I am a career administrator with the federal government. I left the federal government in my 50s and went back to get my master's in community counseling and found a passion for working with older adults. I spent some time with the Fox Valley Memory Project, and I'm very fortunate to be at Fox Valley Lutheran Homes as an executive director here. My role here includes volunteer engagement. It includes supporting our tenants. I supervise a building manager and a property manager and a special person we call a care coordinator. And we'll talk a little bit about her role later.
Great. Well, before we kind of get into the volunteer stuff and all that, tell me more about your facility there, your apartments, how people qualify, just basically what you do and who you are.
Super. We were organized or formed by the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America's Synod, the Appleton Conference, and that's who we were founded by. We are a faith-based community, but we are not Lutheran specific. We are non-discriminatory of all categories that you may want to read on the bottom of a newsletter. We have 41 apartments. We serve people that are 62 and over. You do have to be 62 and over to live here. We have, those apartments are either 1 or 2 bedroom. Each apartment has a balcony. Half of our apartments overlook Linwood Park. So it's a beautiful location to be able to watch the people in the park in the summer and watch the snow fly in the winter. Our apartments, either we have an underground parking garage, which people have the choice to park in. Otherwise, we have garage parking, or people can choose to just park on outside. Each of our kitchens have full-size appliances, including a dishwasher. We include cable, water, and sewer in our rent. And coming soon, we will also include Wi-Fi and a tablet for people to become connected more with their families, especially if they are not already automated kind of people. We received a grant through HUD through the city of Appleton, and we will be purchasing tablets for each one of our apartments and helping people learn how to connect so that mom can push a button, get onto Zoom, and talk to her son in Arizona. They will teach people how to click a website to watch a worship service or Facebook. So we're looking forward to getting people connected, especially since we are living in COVID right now. Every apartment has a locked storage unit. We have inside mail delivery. Super important for people to realize we are a secured facility. Nobody gets into this facility unless staff lets them in or a tenant allows them in, and we're very adamant that no one comes into this building unless they have business with a very specific tenant. It's just security for everybody. We have on site what we call as a care coordinator. At this time, our care coordinator is a retired nurse, but what she does is she acts as a support for our tenants for all kinds of care needs. Let's say a tenant has a new medication that they come with from their doctor, and they're like, well, I don't exactly know, can I take it in the morning? They're confused. She will do research. She will find out what other kind of medications the tenant's taking. If she has to help them call the pharmacy, she will. If she needs to help them call their physician, she will. But she acts as that intermediate person to help them support to get the proper care they need. She will assess everybody as they enter our facility, only because we want to make sure that people live here are truly capable of living independent. We don't want somebody to move in and then find out they need to leave quickly because they are not capable of living independently. If somebody is perhaps not feeling good, she will take a temperature. She will not do cares as in regard to putting on Band-Aids, those kind of things. But she will say, you know what, it looks like those ankles are swollen. You maybe need to call your doctor. Mm-hmm. And if they are, if they don't want to call their doctor because they're concerned or they're not sure what they need to say, she will make that call with the tenant. So she acts as an advocate, I guess is the easiest thing I could say. Yeah. And it's not just the physical things, but we're talking some of the social things that especially the older adults are living with right now. We have an on-site laundry, which we're all excited about because we're moving it from the basement to our first floor or our commons area. So it'll be very accessible to our social area. We have an on-site beauty parlor. So I have a beautician that comes in once a week. And people can make arrangements to have their hair cut with her. She does not bring in outside clients. She just serves the tenants that live here. We are cat, bird, and fish friendly, but at this point we are not canine friendly. Outside we have raised bed gardens that our tenants can sign up to plant during the summer. We are a 5-minute walk to all these off of College, and a drive, but about a 3-mile drive to the Fox River Mall if somebody's interested in shopping.
Great. How does someone, if you have a vacancy, how does someone, is it an application process? Do they have to be referred by a church, or how does that work? How does someone get connected to maybe move into one of the apartments?
Sure. I always advertise our openings on Facebook. I try to put them on Marketplace. We do also have a good connection with the local congregations, so we make sure that all those vacancies will end up in their bulletins as well, so congregations know about it. And many of those referrals come from congregations, but also referrals come from the current tenants that are living here. My friend wants to live here. We do have a sign on the front in the front yard saying apartments are available, or we have a sign that says we're accepting people to our waiting list. If somebody is interested in living here, all they have to do is fill out a waiting list application. There's no fee to go with that waiting list application. Do you want a 1-bedroom? Do you want a 2-bedroom? And then when there's an opening, we'll call them and say, are you interested? Maybe they are, maybe they're not ready, maybe they've changed their mind. But if they're not ready to move that month, but they still want to stay on our waiting list, we just leave them at the top of the list and then go on to the next person. Excellent.
Now, I know that COVID has kind of put a wrench in everybody's, day-to-day schedules, day-to-day programs, whatever. But tell me, when it's a non-COVID world, what type of social activities or things do you guys program for your residents?
Cool. That is really our niche in our community. We are an independent community, but we are a community that supports each other. We have lots of programs in our commons called Linwood Commons, or our community room. We have non-denominational Catholic, Protestant worship services where local area clergy come in and do programs for our worship programs for our tenants. Anybody is welcome. I have a tenant, any tenant that wants to run some kind of a program is welcome to. I have a tenant group of Bible study. I have a volunteer that comes in and runs a book club, and she brings the books in from the local library, and we're continuing to do that, but not as a group. She distributes the books, and then she meets them one-on-one with proper social distancing, and they discuss the book. We have a group of tenants that do an exercise class once a week. We're in the middle of construction for our laundry, but even during COVID, they are out down there social distancing, have their chairs 6 feet apart. They pop in a video and they're doing their exercise. We also do Tai Chi and yoga, pre and hopefully post COVID. Our community room also has a warming kitchen, a refrigerator. So we have lots of luncheons and meals here. Anybody that wants to run an arts and crafts program, it's happening here. I've got scrapbookers, I've got card makers, I have jewelry makers. Whatever somebody is interested in and they want to lead, or we can get a volunteer, that's happening. Painting programs, painting classes. Our care coordinator and other people in the community run educational seminars. Care coordinator has, she ran a flu clinic this fall. She has brought in programs on living with diabetes. Local law enforcement has come in and done programs on scams and how to keep safe in your community. So we are very open to any kind of an educational program that would support our tenants. A lot of games happen down here. They play cards. There's some pretty cutthroat sheephead games going on, and then there's some that are not so cutthroat. Depends on the crowd you hang with. We have bingo. I have a group of people that play dominoes on a regular basis. Something cool is that we have some really good relationships with some youth groups in the community from some of the churches and some of the youth organizations, where the youth comes in and and they play dominoes for a night with our tenants. Last year, we had a group of students from Xavier that came in and we did an intergenerational painting program where it was an older adult, a youth, an older adult in a circle, and everybody had a canvas and everybody had one brush and one color of paint. And we played musical painting. So the music went on and everybody painted for 30 seconds. And maybe that was an Elvis song. At that point, that canvas went to the next person. So the person's not moving in musical chairs, the canvas is moving. And then we played a different kind of music. So the canvases went around until they had met everybody's artwork, and we had some pretty cool community art. So we try very hard to do unique programs and to bring in youth because, people love, the future of where our youth are going to take us on the road. So we love to do that kind of thing. Lots of musical entertainment, Sunday school groups are coming in post and pre and post COVID, hopefully. If our tenant wants to have a private party in our community room, they need to sign up and then they can bring their family and have a private, like I had a tenant that wanted to do a private Thanksgiving party for his family. Obviously that's all canceled at this point, but that's pretty much our commons activities. It's where we celebrate, where we connect, and where we educate.
I love that it's just such an alive community with so much going on, so that, the people there, like, if you're looking for something to do, there's got to be something you can find to do. That's fantastic. Go ahead.
Right now it's sad, because people are here because they want to remain social, and that whole social bit, the social need fuels our mental and physical well-being, and everybody is struggling right now, not just people here, but people in our community.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned the pre-post COVID, the classes and everything. That sounds like a great way that me as a community member might be able to connect with you. Maybe I have an expertise or something that I'd love to come in and lead a group or an activity. Maybe during these COVID times, I've got an idea of a socially distant, creative way to increase some of that connection. I don't know, but what are some of the other ways that volunteers can plug in with you guys? Cool. Even if it's not now, even if it's for the future, but what are some ways they can plug in?
We'll just touch base now. I do have a need, and I do have some volunteers, but some of our tenants no longer drive. So, it's always nice to have some volunteers on a list if somebody needs to go and get groceries, or they need somebody to pick up groceries for them. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for somebody taking our tenant to shop, but to take that shopping list and arrange to get their groceries for them. Running some errands. It's getting to be Christmas time. Somebody wants to, buy a gift for somebody and they can't get out, or they could potentially get out, but because of their age and their health, they're not wanting to get out. So, just again, a runner, a shopper. People would be very appreciative of, a thinking of you card. Just a little note, even if, I think especially if it would be somebody with children, having a child tell a story about what they're doing, what their favorite subjects are, what their pets are, and just writing a letter, and letting people know that we're thinking of you.
Yeah,
When we're talking post-COVID, which I hope happens real soon, anybody that has a love or a passion for an activity, all I need to know is that, how many people can you handle? What space do you need? What kind of supplies you need? And we will announce it to our tenants. We have an internal communication system. Come on in and let's set up a program. I have groups that will periodically bring in lunch, and we do like just a social get together. It doesn't have to be an expensive lunch. I have some groups, some worship church groups that will bring in soup. They bring in a few crock pots of soup, and everybody comes down with their dessert, and we just get together and talk, because food is a good base for socialization.
absolutely.
Any kind of games. I have, groups again that will come in and do games. And well, you and I had an interesting thought of, even during COVID, I'm thinking it might be fun to do a bingo game in the hallway by floor.
Yeah. Yep. I think I almost would love just watching people react as the person runs up and down the hallway saying the number, and just like seeing people looking out their doors being like, this is funny to watch this person get
You're
tired.
on, Brad.
See there, I volunteered myself. All right.
We're gonna wait till after the holidays, I think. But yeah. I mean, this last week, I've had a few people that have made arrangements to they've received a grant, and they're going over to Festival Foods, and they're having a Christmas meal put together for the tenants. Tenants have been given the choice of turkey or ham or beef or whatever, and they're gathering a ready-made meal and delivering it. I have tenants next week on Wednesday, they're delivering a Thanksgiving decorated cookie. I also have some of our board members have received some funds, and they're going out to buy some flowers for each of our tenants. So more of the autumn Thanksgiving kind of flowers, just again to let people know that we're thinking of them. They go door to door. Something is left at the door for the tenant. We respect the social distancing, but we just want people to know that they aren't alone any more than the rest of us are alone. But it's a different situation when people don't drive, and they're more fearful because of their age and their current health status.
So maybe you're someone that's watching this and you've got some creative ideas that can help bring that social connectedness to this community. I'm sure that Lynn would love to hear from you and what some of those ideas are, and maybe you guys can work together to make them work for Fox Valley Lutheran Homes. Because I think.
Absolutely. I did talk a little bit about that HUD grant through the Appleton City. It's a COVID response grant.
Yeah.
We will have tablets for each one of our tenants. Many of our tenants are not computer savvy. So I will be looking for some volunteer support to help us figure out what's the best things, programs, software to put on these tablets, whether we put on a word game or we put on the library app so they can check out books. Do we put Zoom on there? And then some kind of a training manual so we can bring some volunteers in and do training one-on-one with our tenants. Let's say we have 10 tenants, hopefully post-COVID, but probably not, that want to learn how to Zoom to talk to their child out of state or their grandchildren out of state. We can, do a one-on-one with those people in our commons area and, teach them how to do that. So those are all opportunities to help people.
Yeah, so there you go. If you're well versed in apps, technology, communication like that, that's another great way to connect and help out as well. So could you one more time, if someone's interested, has an idea, is interested in connecting or volunteering, what's the best way to approach that? Is it to reach out to you? Do you have a different contact way?
Reach out to me, and I do have a couple of what I call super volunteers. But we could always use more volunteers. But yeah, reach out to me. I believe you'll be showing my email address and our telephone.
Yeah, it's all
at the end of this
it's
video.
all up on the one-stop shop. Yeah.
Sure, and then it would be in your materials also.
Yep, absolutely.
Something else through Fox, Volunteer Fox Cities, we have had some people through your holiday book, is that what you call that, Brad?
Yep.
Have reached out and are putting some care packages together.
Oh, fantastic.
I had somebody that called that said, do you have a giving tree? And I said, no, I don't have a giving tree. But she said, do you have some people that may be in need of a lap blanket or a sweater or lotion? So you guys have been really helpful in, having people recognize that need that we have.
Yeah, and if you're curious about that holiday guide that Lynn Ann just mentioned, it is, if you're on the Volunteer Fest page, scroll all the way down to that page underneath the schedule, and there's a link for that holiday guide as well, so you can check that out.
Yeah, another super cool thing that happened through that holiday guide, and I don't think I told you this, is because of COVID, we are always in need of additional face masks, hand sanitizers, those kind of things. For Imprint out of Oshkosh read your book, and they have sent us 800 bottles of hand sanitizer,
Oh, wow.
500 packs of little Kleenex, facial tissue, and I think there's 300 masks.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. For Imprint, if you are watching,
Yeah.
thank you. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. Oh, I'm glad they were able to fill that need for you guys.
So yeah, that was super cool. I mean, we would not be we wouldn't be here if we wouldn't have the support of the community for our community.
Great. Anything else? Any parting words you want to leave with those that may be tuning in here?
I am open for all suggestions for us to keep our tenants, when we like to call them tenants, because that's how they want to be called, as tenants, to keep them socially connected, especially during COVID. It's lonesome, it's scary, and there's only so much TV they can watch. And so notes, letters, cards, phone calls, a visit from the balcony. I know it's going to get cold out, but those have all been very helpful for people to, to stay connected and know that somebody else is thinking about them, because it can get very lonesome and sad.
Yeah. Well, we are grateful that you are in our community, and we are grateful that you are looking out for and really taking care of in whatever ways you can those that are a part of your community, and filling that niche and that need. And if you're watching this and the stuff that you heard really reaches to you and says something to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Help the folks there at Fox Valley Lutheran Homes stay connected, feel connected as well. And like you heard earlier, when hopefully this COVID is over soon, hopefully jumping into that really vibrant live community, it sounds like they get.
It's been a pleasure being here, Brad.
Yeah, Lynn Ann, we really appreciated it. Thank you. And to those of you again that are watching, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Remember to look at the schedule. We've got one more session left of Volunteer Fest, and that is coming up next with Fox Valley Memory Project. So if you are interested in hearing more about them, hang on here, or if you want to hear about them later, go ahead and watch the recording and check out the website and the one-stop shop. Lynn Ann, thank you again. And everybody have a great rest of your evening.